I had a fantastic time. I loved getting to see everyone. I loved getting to hang out with everyone. I really, truly, and genuinely had such a fantastic time. But not because of the con itself. The con itself was like a shit show. My internet's gonna go out. I'm bad mouthing Katsu. We all should know by now that when I badmouth Katsu, I lose internet. But I'm gonna do it anyway because you guys deserve the tea. So, I had a shit show getting there. This had nothing to do with the con, but I'm gonna tell you guys this is my story time. So, hello everyone, welcome, welcome. I am so happy to have you guys here. Sorry, my voice is scuffed. I did a lot of screaming, but I'm about to give you the tea, the story time, and then we're gonna play some Dead by Daylight. So, Katsucon, I commuted, not from my own house, but I have a friend who lives close enough. So I commuted. I didn't have a hotel room, but we had lovely friends who were like, yes, you can store stuff here. And we also were fine with storing stuff in my car. So we get there, except we don't. Friday, I head over to the con, and I had three things go very, very wrong on Friday morning. One, I could not withdraw money. I don't have a lot of cash at any given time. I went to withdraw money and I don't use my debit card. I use the Access ATM via phone. It wouldn't let me. It no longer let me. So I'm like, crap. All right, got $50 to my name. I guess this is the year I finally use a credit card at Katsucon. I was like, fine, that sucks. I went to go get coffee. The line for Starbucks was so long. I was like, I'm going to be 20 minutes later at this rate. And I'm already, like, not running behind, but I'm like, I don't want to wait that long. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. My friend said, hey, I'm brewing coffee. So I was like, great, I'll get coffee at their house. Then three happened. I was boarding my cat. I was only boarding my cat until today. So it was only going to be Friday and Saturday. So it wasn't for very long. But I didn't want to leave her home alone. So I was like, great, I'll board her and pick up food from my favorite place when I go pick her up. Great, yay. I get there. This place is like 30 minutes from my house. I get there and they are like, hey, there's a flag on your cat. I was like, what? And they were like, yeah, we can't take her. And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you can't take her? I made a reservation. I like did the little thingy online, which granted that is on me. I never got around to seeing if there was an email because that email hates me. However, I've boarded her there for the entire time I've had her. I've never boarded her anywhere else, and I've never had any issues. One time they were full, and I still managed to get her in. Well, you see, last time I boarded her, I had to pick her up early because my little baby decided she wasn't going to eat or use the bathroom. I dropped her off Thursday, and it was Saturday when I picked her up. So they were like, hey, you need to pick her up. We might have to, like, get the vet involved because she's not eating or using the bathroom. And I was like, oh my God, my baby. I was in tears. It was a whole situation. That's another story. Well, apparently, that put a flag on her. And that flag means I can't board her there anymore. So I'm there with my cat who's screaming her head off. Bear in mind, she has not attacked anyone. She has not done anything. She just got a little anxious last time. I cry a little bit in the Pets Hotel, try not to be mean. And I tried really hard not to be mean, and they were very sympathetic, but I think they really wanted to take her. I think they really were having pity on my soul, but they were like, oh no, our boss says we can't. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with my cat? So I drive her home 30 minutes, and then I finally head out. I managed to get coffee. I managed to find some money. Because like I said, I just don't have much cash, and I pay all cash at conventions because it is a finite amount of money. A card, while finite, has a much higher limit than the amount of cash I'm going to carry. It ended up being fine. I get to my friend's house. We end up taking a little bit of extra time anyway. We get to the con. It is fantastic. We got to Katsucon a little bit later. We found a place to park that was super close. And we were like, great. today is our socializing day. We have nothing booked. We're gonna shop and socialize. So I was in Memcho to start, which was a surprise. But I love my girl. I had no formal pictures of her. And I was like, I really want to get pictures. So I got my Memcho pictures. Which I am super excited to post. I also took some fun Valentine's photos. Just saying. So I did Memcho for a while, and then we met up with our friends to put their stuff in their room, and I got changed into Ghosty. Forgot my skirt, so I was in Memcho's skirt, because I was like, yeah, this is fine. Got some really cool photos, had an absolute blast, met up with great friends, but around, I think, 7 p.m., we went out to my car, and, we're just hanging out in the car because we had to change, and we had to, like, my friend was eating, we were both partaking, and, I put my shoes on the wrong feet. I went from 0 to 100. I do not often, partake. I went from 0 to 100, having a great time, put my shoes on the wrong feet because looking at them, you can't tell. Looking at them on, you can kind of tell, but I couldn't really see. Because of, like, we were in my car. And sitting, I couldn't tell. I stood up when we got out of the car and I was like, my shoes are on the wrong feet. And she was like, it's cold. We're leaving. No, okay, these shoes are specialty shoes. I'm being judged in my comments right now. I got these shoes last year at Katsucon, and they're really, really cool, but they're also, they're specialized shoes made by, like, a company. The shoes I bought are a size 9. I'm a 7.5. It's not that big of a deal most of the time, but I think that contributes to it. I don't fill out the shoe perfectly. However, it was the last pair they had that was even close to my size, and I was like, oh my god, I need these. I don't even care. So you can't really tell. When I first got them, I was like, the only way you know is they have a thing on the outside, but I keep taking that off because I am so afraid of losing. It's like a wolf's gravestone from Genshin. I'm so afraid of losing it that I keep taking it off. So I can't even tell that way. Usually, I've actually never had a problem before. This time, I felt it the second I stood up. My friend was like, no, it's cold. We're going inside. You can fix them then. And I'm like, it's not cold out. I told you, 0 to 100. 15 minutes. That's all it took. So the shoe thing actually legitimately made sense. I got inside. My friend comes up beside me and I don't even notice them. And she was like, girl, you gone? No, I really looked over and I was like, I put my shoes on the wrong feet and got so judged. We went to dinner. We met up with another friend, went to dinner. It was like a great time. I put my shoes on the right feet. I did not go around the con with my shoes on the wrong feet. I did put them on the right feet. So we went to dinner, we socialized, we hung out. I saw a whole bunch of people. So I had such a fantastic Friday. It was so much fun. We got home just in time to miss, like, the worst of the wintry weather. And it was fantastic. The next morning, we were both dying. I was fine. Oh, by the way, guys, I was fine by the time I drove. When we were hanging out, it was like 7 p.m. and I did not leave until after midnight, just to keep that good word. Be responsible. Here's the thing. Saturday was the day. Also, I had to leave my cat home for 2 days, and that was anxiety inducing. However, she was fine. Not to leave anyone in suspense. She's fine. I wish I had recorded the sound she made when I got home. But Saturday, that's where the drama is. So we woke up and we were both suffering, and we were like taking it slow, taking it easy. Didn't leave when we wanted to because my friend was feeling a little sick. I was feeling a little sick. Not the contagious kind of sick. Just we went to a con, we partied hard, and now we kind of crave the sweet release of death, but we have another day at the con, and we had 2 photo shoots. Um, yes, it was mistakes were made kind of sick. And I just, when I do not sleep, when I go too hard in general, just in life, not even when partaking of the bevies, I just get tummy aches a lot. So we were moving really slowly, and like before we left, I was like, yo, I really need to sit for a second. Like, I am regretting my life choices. I am regretting that I ate such a big breakfast. Like, please, I need to sit. So we chilled. We end up leaving, and we end up getting to the Gaylord. Well, we end up getting to the area a little after 1. Our shoot is at 2. We were like, man, maybe we'll get lucky and get the parking like we did the day before. Except the police are there, blocking off every single entrance. And we were like, what is happening? There's no signage. There's nothing. There is nothing. I saw one sign later on when we came back. So there's no signage. So we're like, okay, I get that Katsucon has an overcrowding problem, but this is weird. It was a really weird feeling. So we drove down a little bit further, and we went down, and we were like, well, maybe we can still get in. So we were like, okay, they're turning everyone away. It did not matter what you were. They were turning you away. So we were like, maybe we can still get lucky. Maybe someone left. Maybe we can find a side entrance. We went all the way down. Where we had parked the day before, they had 3 entrances. We tried all 3. The cops were kind of rude at the one entrance. And we were just confused because there was no signage. There was no saying like, hey, we're not accepting people anymore. All there was just cops. Eventually, we did see one sign that said, if you go to this place, there's overflow parking and it's a park and ride. And we were like, and I was like, hey, let's go to the MGM. So we drive over to the MGM, plenty of parking there. We managed to catch an Uber, and we managed to actually like get to the con right as like the shoot is starting. Shoot goes great, but by that point we're stressed, we're kind of overstimulated, and our cosplays are not comfy. So I am so sorry to anyone who ever wanted to see me in Ruka Devada. Maybe one day I'll wear her again. There are like 5 pictures from that day because we went to my friend's room and just vibed after that. We got like half out of our cosplays. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't keep wearing this thing. It's too much. It's too tight. Because I'm cinched into a corset type top. And I was like, I cannot deal. So we chilled for like an hour and a half before finally we were like, okay, let's do bunnies. Also, we had a iffy experience. There was definitely some rudeness happening about the commandeering of photography spots at Katsucon, and I'm not going to name any names, but some things were said that me and my friend apologized for because we were like, hey, we did not like how that interaction went. Look, Katsucon's really crowded. A lot of people want pictures in a lot of places, but you can work together to figure out how to get people in there. Excuse me. And that's what I'm going to say on the matter. It doesn't have to be a fight. It doesn't have to be rude. You can work together to figure out how both sets of people can get somewhere. So that was dicey. And then we got changed into our bunny suits finally. We went to meet up with our bunny shoot. A lot of people were late. But it was fine. Our photographer was the same one as last year. She was fantastic. She was like, all right, everyone, we're going to do singles first since your full group isn't here yet. Everyone think up 2 poses. You're going to hold your first pose and do not move until I say switch. And then you're going to do your second pose. Hold it. Do not move until I say switch. And that's going to be next. So professional. So awesome. So comforting. But yeah, the bunny shoot went super well. We had one person who was getting into their cosplay for the very first time at the shoot, and we were like, oh my god, they might not even make it to singles. But it was so fun. The bunny shoot is always so empowering. I met so many beautiful, lovely people. Like I said, I had a fantastic Katsucon. it was just also a shit show. The con itself was a shit show. I was hearing a lot of things, and it sounded like a lot of people had similar experiences where they, where, people were struggle busing so hard. Also, I promise I'm gonna get to reading full out your comments as soon as I finish this. Um, it was genuinely such a fun time. I got to see so many new cool people. I got to meet so many amazing people. I was so happy getting to see everyone, getting to hang out with some old friends, make some new ones. I think Katsucon needs to reevaluate certain aspects though. It's a very it is a con that gets very high and mighty. It is also a con that does not cap attendance. And it gets very overcrowded. I wear a mask most all the time when I'm at a convention like that because my immune system isn't that great. And I'm not saying that they have to bring back a mask mandate. Um, and I didn't wear my mask the whole time. I think there is a good chance I will catch something. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. But I think that the difference between going to MagFest a month ago and Katsucon this month, MagFest that capped their attendance, I never felt packed in. No matter where I was, I never felt packed in. My friend checked out the manga library and was like, I couldn't even stay in there because it was so overcrowded. And I was like, what the fuck? I've never been to a crowded manga library. They've always been so calm, so chill, like a few people in and out. You might get a good crowd. You might get enough people that someone's on the floor, but it's never panel seating, almost entirely filled. Um, it was it was rough in those terms. I felt very smushed in. Going through like the gazebo area, I was like, I don't want to take my mask off, but no one could hear me if I was wearing one because I'm not a very loud person. Um oh, good point. The manga library location was also kind of objectively terrible, but like I will let that slide. That happened. So, I really genuinely think Katsucon they need to cap their attendance. It's getting too big. They either need to do what Otakon did and move, which is a tragic and sad thing when it happens. I understand. I was so sad when Otakon moved. I love the old location, but and the new location is kind of like meh. But we don't have overcrowding issues anymore. Otakon, 2015 and 2016 were painfully overcrowded. Um, Lobby conning, so they helped with lobby conning last year. You actually had to show your badge to get into the gazebo area last year. And I think that helped some with the lobby conning. It was still packed, don't get me wrong. But it was a lot it was a lot less packed. It is a very LobbyCon convention, but I think that capping the attendance could help a little bit because it could mitigate. Katsucon is, I believe, now the biggest East Coast convention. It did overtake Otakon, and I believe it's still overtaken Anime Boston. But it is in the Gaylord in National Harbor, which is like Maryland, D.C., Virginia, like cusp. It's a weird location. And then, of course, we did, like I said, I had a fantastic time. Our bunny shoot was so empowering. I loved all the people I hung out with. I ended up back in Ghostface for a while. And, it was great. It was really fantastic. I do think they should cap attendance and try to, like, find out ways. I get that having to show your badge to get into the gazebo, it felt bad. It felt bad last year. Because not everyone even carries their badge at that time of night because they're not going anywhere they need one. So I get it feels bad. I get it feels bad. I think if they advertise that and if they're like, hey, the gazebo is badge restricted, you're going to stop a lot of lobby conners because they're going to know ahead of time. They're not going to make the drive. So I understand it feels bad, but I think they need to do something or they're going to have to move because it's getting wild. It's getting packed. But like I said, I had a fantastic time. I am so glad I went. I am so glad that I decided to full out go get a badge. I met amazing people. I saw amazing friends. I am so excited for what the next conventions have, and that is the story of Katsucon 2024. And next year, I'm getting a room.